Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. In today's video, I'm going to be showing you a basic Tai Chi movement pattern and translating that to your walking technique so you can reap the benefits of Tai Chi directly in your walking. We're going to be using the Tai Chi movement of brush knee, demonstrated right here. And we're going to be taking this movement position and we're going to be doing two different movement transitions. One is going to be standing up directly into a normal standing posture. And then the other is going to be starting from the same position, doing a half step up, and then taking that directly into the swing through phase of a step, which occurs right before you place your heel and begin taking the next step. By using this Tai Chi movement, we're going to understand how we use the core and rotation of the waist, power from the hips, rather than gravity and momentum to walk properly and stand properly. This is going to help you keep an aligned spine at all times, help you keep your joints in the lower body aligned, and help reduce impact on your joints when you're walking so you can reduce pain in the feet, knees, and the hips, and the lower back. If you're new to the channel, I'm Dr. Todd Martin, creator of both the Tai Chi Code and the Walking Code. We're going to start off by doing the movements, and then later on I'm going to get into the explanation of the movements using my direction root power system. I'm going to start facing forward so you can see the bow stance. This is a Tai Chi bow stance doing the movement of brush knee. Brush knee is a pushing action where we're striking with the right palm if the left foot is forward, and the left palm is going to be down by the left knee, which is why it's called brush knee, because as we do the motion, the left palm is going to brush by the left knee. This is going to be our starting position. In this bow stance, my forward foot is facing directly forward, rear foot is angled out at about 45 degrees, and we want to keep a vertical posture with the knee lined up just about over the ankle. From the side view, this is what the position should look like. Vertical posture, front foot facing forward, rear foot angled out. We are pushing back off the ground with the glutes of the rear leg as we push the right palm forward. And the first exercise we're going to do, practice this with me, is go from this position, and without any momentum, we're going to slowly stand up on the left leg until we're in a total vertical posture. And then you can shift your weight, planting your weight back on both legs. Once again, from this position, go from here, and without leaning forward, pull yourself up. And we're going to use the core muscles on the left to pull the body up into the standing position. And then the second exercise, we're going to start in the same place. We're going to do a half step up. When you do the half step up, the left arm should begin to move forward and the right arm is going to retract. All of your body weight should be directly over your left leg. The rear foot should be touching the ground, but without any weight on it. And from this position, we're going to do the same stand up. But if we do the same exact core movement, the stand up is going to lead us to here, which is the swing through phase of a step, prior to then rotating the core again to bring the heel down and take the next step. When we use this technique to walk, what you should notice is that your stride length is not going to be too long. It's going to be just right. And there's going to be very little heel impact. We're placing the heel softly on the ground. because there's no lean and push, which is a common mistake. There's no shuffle like that, which is a common mistake. And finally, which is a really common mistake, there's going to be no duck footing, where the feet are out at an angle, which also increases impact on your joints and messes up the alignment of the spine. We're going to keep everything aligned by using our core muscles the way they're designed to be used. And the Tai Chi technique we're using is going to help you get that into your body memory a little bit more clearly. First, practice this a few times and see if you can get it on your own without an explanation. And then now, after you've done that, I'm going to come back and I'm going to explain what is going on with your core to make the movement happen properly. And I'm going to use my direction root power system to explain how we're using the core in this movement pattern. If you're interested in more information and getting into the direction root power system, I recommend going over to my website. I have a direction root power transform your walk course. It's now going to be available as a low-cost subscription model, and it's going to be paired with the Tai Chi code course and the 2 other prior walking code courses, all bundled together for one low price of $10 a month. So it's a really fantastic deal for those of you who really want to work on the details of your posture, alignment, and how to use your core. So let's go into the direction root power core explanation of what we're doing in this video. We're beginning in the position of brush knee. If you already practice Tai Chi, this will be the 3rd movement pattern that we do in the Yang style 24 form. After parting a wild horse's mane and then crane cools its wings, we step out, and then we do this motion called brush knee. There's different ways people get into it. Another alternative way people get into it is with this sort of motion, stepping out here and then going right into the motion. But it doesn't matter because the final position is the same in either scenario. And so that's the key, is starting in that final position. What we're doing with the direction root power system, first, the direction. Direction is the rotation from the upper waist that essentially tells you which way your body is going to be facing. I can use my left upper waist muscles to turn to the right, or I can use my right upper waist muscles to turn to the left. That is the direction. If you play with that, you'll see that the arms are going to be projected by that upper waist rotation or direction. Then we have our lower abs that control the root. The root is what keeps one or the other leg connected to the ground. We always root only one leg at a time. The lower abs move in the opposite direction from the upper abs. So while the upper waist on the right turns around to the left, the lower abs on the right turn back and to the right. And as they do that, they root the right leg to the ground by having a backward energy turning back towards this leg on the right. It frees up my left leg. And if I want to root my left leg, I turn the lower abs, think of your belly button, turn it to the left, and that's going to peel the right leg off the ground. So that is the root. Finally, we have the power. The power comes from our hip muscles, either flexing the hip by lifting the hip up or extending the hip behind the body using the glutes. So hip extension, glutes in the back. Hip flexion is the hip flexors, the iliopsoas complex in the front. So that is the power. So we have direction, we have root, and we have power. In this position in brush knee, the direction is going to be counterclockwise, meaning I'm turning forward and around on the right side of the upper waist. The root is going to be on the rear leg, so my lower abs are turning back and to the right. And the root also has a tucking action along with it. So when I engage the lower abs on the right, they're turning back into the right and they are tucking the pelvis on the right. So you should feel a distinct tucking action from the lower abs when you're in this position. And then the power in brush knee is extension from the rear leg hip. So I'm using my glutes to push back off the ground. That is the position. Now we're going to take that position and we're going to stand up. When we stand up, we're going to reverse the rotation of both sides of the abdominal waist rotation. So instead of turning forward on the right, I'm going to turn forward on the left. That's the direction. I'm also going to change the root from the right to the left, tucking the pelvis on the left, turning the belly button to the left. And finally, I'm going to change the power from pushing back on the right to pulling up on the left. This is actually hip flexion, pulling the pelvis forward, and that in combination with the waist rotation and tucking action of the lower abs is going to pull me into a standing position. From the side view, upper waist, lower abs, hip flexion pulls me up into this standing position. Some people would think that I'd be using my glutes to push the body up. But if you try to use your glutes, what's going to happen is you're going to push your body back, pushing off the ground backward. What we need to do is pull forward. Now let's look at the core action and the half step up and transition that into our forward step. This is really going to make your stride optimal and smooth and gliding. We're going to start here in the brush knee just like we did before. For the half step up, we're going to do the same rotation change from the abdomen. Upper waist direction is going to turn forward on the left. Root is going to change to the left, tucking on the left there. And the hip extension from the right is going to turn into hip flexion, pulling up. And that's going to bring me into this position. From here to here. The left arm is going to be forward because my direction is forward on the left. My root is on the left, so you should feel that you're tucked on your left, and you can also exaggerate a little bit to feel that your belly button is turning back and to the left, rooting the left leg. Now from this position, we're going to do the same action we did in the stand-up. Waist action continues the same, and we're going to transfer that hip flexion from the right, where the right leg is pulling forward. That got us to this position. It won't get us any further. We're going to use the hip flexors on the left, and that's going to pull the body up into this standing position, but the standing position is going to be accompanied by the right leg swinging forward. So this is the swing through phase of a step. Half step up, feel that core movement, and then pull yourself up into the swing through phase of a step. And then you can practice walking out. I'll explain the walk out in a minute. It's really important to keep the posture vertical so you don't lean into the step and lose your balance. The key is pulling yourself up. I'll demonstrate the whole glute issue again from the half step up. If you think you're going to push yourself up with the glutes, what's going to happen is you're going to push yourself up and back. You're not going to go forward. In order to go forward, we have to pull from the hip flexors. Once you're here, now you can see that our spine is directly over the standing leg. I'm rooted on the standing leg. I have not used any gravity or momentum. I'm perfectly balanced. From here, I'm going to step forward by changing the direction to the right side, turning forward on the right, and that is what's going to bring my right heel down by turning forward on the right, and that is simultaneously going to lift my left heel up off the ground. That is going to be the first part of the leg extending behind the body. And that's why visually it looks like I might be using my glutes to push the leg back, but I'm not. I'm using waist rotation and then plantar flexion of the left ankle that is going to lift the left heel and begin to move the body forward. The next part of the forward shift, which gives the optical illusion of pushing back, is going to be shifting the root, which is the next part of a normal step. I'm here, half step up, engage all the core muscles on the left to stand, rotate forward on the right. That brings the heel down and lifts the rear heel. Now I'm going to use the lower abs on the right, tucking and rotating to shift the root and the weight to the right leg. That has essentially pulled the body forward over the right leg, which gives again the illusion that I have pushed my left leg back. But I did not push my left leg back. I pulled my body forward with the core. When we do both of those movements sequenced together, coming from here, stand up, and I'm going to rotate and tuck. That is the heel placement and the shift of weight. And after I do that, then I stand up again on the right side. The waist core muscles will already be engaged on the right, and then I engage the hip flexors on the right to stand up again, and I've taken my next step. Then we just sequence those over and over again, and we have normal gait. Stand up, and then we're going to turn, we're going to tuck, and then the stand up in the walking code I call lift, and we have a lift. We have a turn, we have a tuck, and lift. That is a mantra that I use in the walking code if you've been following the walking code. Turn, tuck, lift, turn, tuck, lift. That is the core sequence that we're using when we are walking. The turn being the rotation from the upper waist, the tuck being the tuck from the lower abs, and the lift is that hip action coming from the front of the hip. Turn, tuck, lift, and then you switch sides. The turn switches sides, then the tuck switches sides, then the lift switches sides. And that's how we sequence a normal gait when we are walking forward. Vertical posture, eyes forward, no leaning, no relying on gravity. The stride length is not overly long, and we're able to place the heel very softly through rotation, shift the weight, and pull ourselves into the next step. This will help you alleviate problems of leaning forward and crashing on the heel. It will also alleviate problems with slouching and shuffling, and it will help alleviate problems where you're walking with your feet turned out because you're not engaging the hip flexors on the side of the standing leg, which pull your body in the direction of the standing leg foot, keeping it properly aligned. So I hope you enjoyed this video. Again, this is using the direction root power system, which you can apply to your Tai Chi and to your normal walking technique. So you can maximize the benefits of understanding how your core movements apply to every movement you do in your functional life. If you enjoyed the video, make sure to click the like button and subscribe to the channel. And if you're interested in getting more into the direction root power system and even some more Tai Chi, jump over to the website where all of my previous courses, including the Tai Chi code, are going to be available for one low subscription price of $10 a month. Have a great day, everybody.